Yes, it is for $245 million. That's a lot of money. That's 10 more than the Deshaun Watson contract. 15 more, as a matter of fact.
15 more.
15 more. But it's $165 million guaranteed, which means that we have now seen not one, two contracts signed by top-notch elite quarterbacks, as many people believe Russell Wilson, and yes, Kyler Murray, despite his late season struggles and still no playoff wins. It's still a fantasy football world, and people ascribe to Kyler Murray elite status. That's now two contracts that have been signed by top-notch quarterbacks with huge price tags to it that are not fully guaranteed, like the Cleveland Browns gave to Deshaun Watson. How will that play out with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson? Because in the same way that Russ is going into the season, well, my contract's taken care of. I know where I am the rest of my career. I know where my family's going to be sitting the rest of my career. I know how I'm going to enter this season with a clear mind and a full heart and can't lose. Lamar Jackson has a different drum beat. I understand. He can still go into the season and still dominate without a new contract, but how is that going to play out? Because that's not one but two contracts now, where the NFL is saying, or two teams in the NFL is saying, yeah, that deal that the Haslams gave Deshaun Watson, we're not doing that. And two top-notch quarterbacks saying, okay. Kyler Murray with $189.5 million in guaranteed money. $165 million of it guaranteed to Russ. And Russ is like, okay, that's good enough for me. And I already saw on Twitter some agents or an ad agent saying, you know, there'll be that's leaving money on the table that the rest of the league appreciates in the front offices, but other players will be like, what's up with that? As if Tom Brady never took a hometown discount his entire career. Hey, and I know agents might be pissed off that the Haslams did something and now the good times are going to roll for everybody else. But guess what? Haslams did it. And the rest of the league is like, they're ridiculous. We're not doing that. And two top-notch quarterbacks have said, okay. And just when we thought, remember Kirk Cousins signed for all that guaranteed money in Minnesota, or like every other contract's going to be fully guaranteed, and we haven't seen that. We didn't see that. That was the outlier. Maybe, just maybe, the Haslams are sitting out there on an island with their guy on an 11-game suspension, I might add, and a non-told contract, sitting there with the first of his seasons in Cleveland potentially broken. We'll see how it plays out. But I found that very interesting. And it's a new ownership. They came straight off the Walmart truck into Denver. And even they understand what the rules of the business that they've chosen in the new organization membership that they have gained in the National Football League. Yeah, okay, so let's just take a look at all the way things have been done here. Hey, Russ.
They could have easily scratched 231, 232,
George
just to make it a little bit more.
Peyton's still the general manager there, okay? He's a football guy that's been there through different ownership reigns, but the owners could be like, the Walmarts could be like, so the Haslams guaranteed all that money. Well, just do that for us, because we'll just, wait a minute, let me look under the cushion here. Yeah, there it is. Here's that money. We'll just do that. Oh, yeah. These people could scratch that escrow check in 2 seconds. That escrow check. They got the money.
They just don't know how to pronounce the commissioner's name.
Yes, right. Yes, they would call up Commissioner Goodell and say, "Hey,
Ralph Goodell,
Commissioner Goodell. Yeah, I know you might not be happy with us, but," and he'd be like, "Okay, I'm just the commissioner here.
I work for you.
Go ahead and Google the way you can pronounce Goodell." Commissioner Google. I really thought like he was asking his device next to him. How do you pronounce the commissioner's name? Hey, Goodle. But yes, the Broncos are new. The The Walmart family, the Waltons,
Family.
the family is new to this thing, and even they get it. You don't have to guarantee all the money to the contract of your generationally talented and generationally enriched quarterback. And he'll eventually say yes. Good enough for me.
Uber wealthy people do tend to be a bit stingy, right? So
the Ravens now are on the clock. And Bisciotti once told Flacco, show me and then put the bag on the desk and I'll pay it. And he did it. And the trophy is in the case from that Super Bowl in New Orleans against the Niners.
the lights went.
And Lamar's now on the clock. So the Ravens can basically say, hey, I know you've won it all guaranteed. And we're assuming that's what the holdup is. He can also say, the Broncos offered $245, $165 guaranteed. That could be what the Ravens are saying. And Russ has a Super Bowl win and 2 appearances there. So the way the contract was paid out or laid out and then will be paid out is of interest. Because I thought the minute that Watson got all his money guaranteed with 24 civil suits hanging over him meant every other quarterback's going to ask for the same thing and get the same thing. And Arizona paid Murray how they paid him. And now the Denver Broncos are paying Russ how they're paying him. And it ain't the way that the Cleveland Browns are paying their guy. They got to also be sitting back there saying, I guess that escrow check is because he wasn't coming to us unless we guaranteed every dollar. So maybe the staring at the Haslams with daggers by other teams might be less than now because the Broncos and the Cardinals have struck a blow in favor of management. We'll see what happens when the Chargers and the Bengals are on the clock after this playing season for Herbert and Burrow. But for the moment, it's now the Ravens who are on the clock with their guy, Lamar Jackson, and we'll see how this contract sets everything up.